The hunt has just erupted, and the lion is pulled into a tense confrontation. Horned prey do not back down, pushing back with sharp horns and a powerful instinct to survive. Faced with both resilient targets and competing predators, the king of the grassland begins to lose its dominant rhythm. Each surge forward no longer guarantees control. And when the ruler falters, which direction will the balance shift? In Africa, the oryx appears as a moving fortress of the grazing world. With a solid, muscular body weighing around 440 pounds, its most formidable weapon is a pair of straight horns measuring nearly 40 inches long. These are not just for display, but a long-range defense system, powerful enough to maintain critical distance from any predator bold enough to move in. As one oryx lowers its head to feed in an open patch of ground, two lions quietly separate from the brush and advance from different directions. One shifts to the side to draw attention, while the other lowers its body and steadily closes in from behind. For a few brief seconds, the advantage seems to lean fully towards the hunters. But the moment both charges come at once, the oryx pivots with a calm, instant reaction. Its 40-inch horns sweep in a powerful arc, meeting the threat head-on. The close approach breaks apart immediately. The lions, once in control, are pushed into an uncertain position, able only to trail carefully for a moment before giving up and letting the moving fortress continue on its way. In this unforgiving world, victory does not always belong to the strongest, but to the one with the greatest resolve. Across the sunlit plains of the Serengeti, the line between hunter and prey is never predetermined. The wildebeest, a dense mass of muscle weighing around 600 pounds, is not simply a moving target, but a fighter driven by explosive instinct. Its primary defense lies in a pair of hook-shaped horns, nearly 2 feet long, capable of delivering powerful counterforce against any close threat. Typically, the lion begins the hunt when it spots an isolated individual. The predator lowers its body, moving through scorched grass to close in from the flank. Yet this is not the only outcome. In a critical moment of survival, instead of fleeing in desperation, the wildebeest suddenly lowers its center of gravity and moves forward to confront the threat head-on. Using its considerable momentum, it turns its horns into a formidable barrier. Each forceful impact directed at the opponent's core can disrupt even the most calculated approach. This sudden surge of resistance often unsettles younger hunters, forcing them to withdraw to avoid further risk. Field observations indicate that nearly 10% of serious setbacks in lions come from these intense counter-responses. As the dust settles, the predator retreats in the wake of a rare setback. Here, strength is not defined by claws alone, but by the resolve to stand firm until the very end. It is no coincidence that the sable antelope is regarded as one of the most formidable fighters of the grassland. With its glossy black coat and commanding presence, a mature male weighing around 600 pounds carries a level of confidence rarely seen in a grazing animal. Its most striking weapon is a pair of crescent-shaped horns, reaching a remarkable 60 inches in length. A solid horn structure capable of forcing even the boldest hunters to retreat. Beside a still waterhole, a lioness quietly closes in as the sable antelope lowers its head to drink. Instead of pulling away, the sable makes a powerful turn and faces the threat head-on. The confrontation reaches its peak when it deliberately lowers its center of gravity and uses its horns as leverage to throw aside an attacker weighing nearly 300 pounds. The lioness loses all momentum against the massive force of those precisely timed strikes. Pushed out of its favorable position, the predator quickly surrenders the initiative. Faced with an opponent that controls distance so effectively, the lion is forced to pull back and withdraw deep into the brush. The confrontation ends with the sable antelope still standing firm. Excess confidence can sometimes lead to serious tactical mistakes. It is a powerful affirmation of its place as one of the toughest animals on Earth to challenge. The African buffalo is one of the heaviest and most unpredictable animals a lion must face on the grassland. Weighing around 1,800 pounds, with immense muscle and a pair of fused horns forming a solid shield across the forehead, this animal presents one of the toughest challenges for any pride. Its strength lies not only in its size, but also in its unbreakable herd instinct, turning individual animals into a united force that is extremely difficult to break apart. When the herd remains in a tight formation, it reveals almost no clear opening. For that reason, lions often try to create confusion, forcing the herd to shift direction and attempting to separate a slower individual from the circle of protection. In the moment when dust rises and the movement pattern is thrown off balance, the situation may seem to favor the hunters. But that is also the moment when the advantage can reverse very quickly. African buffalo rarely abandon one another easily. Within seconds, stronger individuals may turn back, driving all their weight into a direct charge to create space for the trapped animal to escape. These impacts are powerful enough to lift a lion standing about 6 feet tall off the ground. That protective instinct becomes one of the most intimidating forces a lion can face. In many situations, the herd regroups into a moving wall of horns, forcing the predator into a surrounded position. Under the immense pressure of tons of muscle, even the most seasoned hunters are forced to retreat, scrambling toward raised mounds or low tree trunks to get clear. This is an extreme test of endurance, where a single small mistake can strip the lion of its advantage. Across the savannah, the zebra survives not only through speed, but through a sophisticated system of visual disruption. Its high-contrast stripes create a shifting illusion that makes it difficult for predators to lock onto a precise target. Yet behind that camouflage stands a powerful body weighing around 900 pounds, capable of turning a chase into a forceful counter-response. Within the tall grass, a hungry lion has been watching for some time, quietly closing in on individuals that begin to fall behind at the edge of the herd. The pursuit erupts as the distance collapses. The lion surges forward at nearly 40 miles per hour, and the encounter shifts from a race of speed to a test of precise timing. But at the very moment the critical move is made, the zebra pivots and delivers a powerful backward kick. The impact can reach around 3,000 pounds per square inch, enough to disrupt the predator's timing completely. Even when the kick does not create enough space and the lion closes in, the zebra can still respond with a sudden bite from its strong jaws. On the open grassland, however, the line between escape and losing momentum is measured in just a few seconds. A single delay is enough for every defensive advantage to disappear in an instant. Do not be misled by its slow appearance. The rhinoceros is a massive build of muscle weighing around 5,000 pounds, protected by skin up to 2 inches thick. It is a moving fortress, capable of generating explosive force strong enough to push aside anything in its path. When food becomes scarce, a pride of lion is forced into one of the most dangerous tests on the grassland, targeting a solitary individual. Facing a horn measuring around 20 inches, the predator is placing itself into a dangerous encounter where the margin for error is extremely small. The tension rises as a pregnant rhinoceros becomes trapped in soft ground, while 3 lions tighten their formation. Yet a powerful maternal instinct releases a surge of strength, allowing the rhino to break free. The giant quickly reasserts control with direct charges driven by immense force. The formation collapses, and the predators are forced to withdraw to avoid further risk. The encounter closes as the hunters recognize that there are boundaries on the grassland that even a king cannot cross. Across the frozen plain, the pursuit unfolds with relentless intensity. The wolf pack surges forward not in chaos, but with cold precision, like a coordinated strike. Each shift in movement narrows the chance of escape. Each burst of speed tightens the encirclement. The wolf's most formidable strength doesn't lie in a single set of fangs, but in the unity of the entire pack moving as one. In North America, a living fortress stands across the open land. It is the bison, a giant weighing around 2,000 pounds, wrapped in a thick coat against the cold, and armed with short horns strong enough to keep most pursuers at a distance. Despite its massive build, this animal can accelerate to nearly 40 miles per hour, turning every charge into a powerful force across the prairie. Yet winter becomes a relentless ally for the wolves. As the cold gradually drains the giant's stored reserves, the pack appears. They avoid a direct approach towards the 12-inch horns, instead forming a wide arc and launching a pursuit that can stretch for miles, steadily wearing down the opponent's endurance. Through swirling snow and tense collisions, a target slowly emerges, the individual falling behind the herd. The wolves tighten their formation, turning collective coordination into constant pressure. At times, even the protection of the herd can create a fragile moment. A hurried shove causes a young animal to lose its rhythm, and the opening is quickly filled by the hunters. It is a long-standing rule of this frozen land, harsh yet essential. Such encounters gradually remove the most vulnerable and help keep the prairie in balance. From the conifer forests of North America to the frozen lands of the far north, wolves stand as symbols of endurance and pack order. An adult gray wolf weighs around 120 pounds and can run close to 38 miles per hour. With tireless strides, they can accelerate like arrows cutting through the harsh wilderness. A thick coat, a keen sense of smell, and distant howls help the pack remain connected across vast open landscapes. Within wild ecosystems, wolves play an important role in regulating prey populations and maintaining nature's delicate balance. Through the white veil of drifting snow, a living fortress comes into view. It is a herd of Musk oxen. Weighing more than 900 pounds, they wear coats of long hair that nearly touch the ground, while their curved horns form a solid shield across the forehead. Following an instinct shaped since prehistoric times, the herd forms a tight defensive circle, a display of remarkable calm in the face of danger. Against this wall of strength, the wolves rely not on fangs, but on pressure and fear. They circle the herd, growling and making sudden feints designed to stir confusion. Patiently, they search for the smallest crack in the herd's iron discipline. Each advance is met by an unmoving barrier of horns, a silent warning. Only one loss of composure, a single opening, and the fortress can unravel in an instant. In this contest of survival, victory does not always belong to the strongest, but to the one that remains calm the longest. When order begins to break, instinct yields to fate. In the polar world, even the smallest mistake can carry the highest cost. Across the North American tundra, where extreme cold can reach nearly -40 degrees Fahrenheit, a great migration flows like a living current. Hundreds of thousands of caribou, the planet's most enduring travelers, move across the continent on a journey stretching more than 3,000 miles. Weighing up to 700 pounds, and equipped with hooves that function like natural snowshoes, they cross thin layers of ice with remarkable stamina. They are the only members of the deer family in which females also carry antlers, a proud symbol of survival in the polar wilderness. Yet across the open landscape, the presence of such vast herds inevitably draws attention. Wolves begin a quiet, psychological strategy. They do not rush into action. Instead, their steady presence places the herd under constant pressure for hours. As the caribou split apart and then struggle to regroup, a few individuals begin to lose track of the approaching threat. That brief confusion offers a crucial advantage for the hunters. With no wasted motion, a wolf closes the distance and delivers a swift bite, bringing the tense pursuit to its end. When silence returns to the tundra, valuable energy has shifted from one life to another. For the wolves, the reward becomes the nourishment that sustains the next generation. As autumn arrives, the conifer forests tremble with one of nature's most resonant sounds, the call of the elk. It is not only a challenge for dominance, but the opening movement of a demanding season of survival. Each adult bull weighs around 700 pounds, carrying a many-pointed rack of antlers, both a crown of maturity and a formidable line of defense against any rival. Amid the white sweep of early snow, wolves find advantage in the very obstacles of the terrain. They do not rush. The hunting pack follows at a measured pace, observing and waiting for a single misstep. During brief bursts, wolves can reach speeds of up to 35 miles per hour, quickly closing the distance to a solitary animal. To resist the pressure, the elk moves toward a frigid river channel. There, deeper water slows the wolves' approach, and the antlers become a shield held at the perfect height. Yet the pursued animal now faces another challenge: the cold. Even when the water rises only to the knees, the icy current gradually drains its strength. At times, success doesn't come from direct confrontation, but from patient calculation and seamless cooperation. A hard-earned prize, secured through endurance, such is the quiet law of the wild. When large prey becomes scarce during the long cold season, wolf packs must shift to a very different style of hunting. This time, the target is the Arctic hare, a small animal weighing around 10 pounds, yet capable of bursts close to 37 miles per hour and nearly disappearing against the snow with its seasonal white coat. In a land where temperatures can fall near -40 degrees Fahrenheit, survival leaves little room for wasted energy. Against a small, extremely fast animal that changes direction without warning, wolves cannot rely only on endurance, as they would with larger prey. They must shorten the distance, anticipate the running path, and react almost instantly to every sudden turn across the snowdrifts. The pursuit may end quickly, yet behind it lies a demanding test of adaptation. In this frozen world, nature does not honor strength alone. At times, the smallest targets force predators to refine their instincts to the highest level of precision. Possessing extraordinary muscle strength, the grizzly stands ready to overpower any intruder bold enough to approach. At its feet lies the valuable nourishment from a recent hunt. For a wolf pack already drained by the harsh season, this resource is more than food. It is the only chance to endure the unforgiving winter. The tense standoff begins. The grizzly swings a powerful paw, its 4-inch claws slicing through the air. Yet in the confined space, the wolves' agility proves more effective than raw force as they skillfully avoid the strike. In a straight run, a grizzly bear can reach speeds of up to 35 miles per hour, nearly matching the pace of a wolf. But in tight quarters, agility becomes the ultimate advantage for the canid hunters. The wolves employ a harassment strategy designed to distract. They coordinate with the rhythm of a finely tuned system. The large bear pivots again and again, trying to drive away the shifting gray shapes, but each attempt falls just short. Raw strength now faces the quiet pressure of pack intelligence. Focused on the surrounding challengers, the giant briefly reveals an opening, a moment of hesitation. Exactly what the wolves have been waiting for. One swift approach, then another, and the prize is taken away before the ruler of the highlands can react. In this encounter, strategy and coordination prevail over sheer power. In the end, the lion shows that strength always comes with risk. Even the king of the grassland can lose its edge against determined prey and resilient rivals. That is what makes every hunt unfold with such intensity. If these moments resonate, consider tapping like on the video. And do not forget to subscribe to the channel to follow the encounters ahead.